Okay, so yesterday or in the last video, I was prepping canvases, and I thought about this one a lot last night and again this morning. So I decided I wanted to do an abstract on it. I was going to use it as a 2-portrait panel, but I really want to do an abstract. We're living in extraordinary times. When people who have been victims of abuse, targeted abuse, are victims of all kinds of things, are tired. Harassment, the whole thing. Tired. People are stepping forward and saying, enough, enough, enough is enough. And I'm listening to, I've been listening to the radio and to podcasts and watching movies. And that's really the human experience, is part of the human experience is saying, you cannot treat me that way. That's a part of maturing, but it's also a part of learning who you are. Is when you can recognize things like abuse. Call it out for what it is if you have the strength, and saying enough is enough. We always need supporters, always, so that people can't deny their own horrible behavior, disgusting, vile, horrible behavior. For some reason, we always need supporters to say, yes, I saw that. Yes, that did happen. And not one or two, but as we're seeing around the world, it takes millions of people. We watched the Women's March in Washington. We're watching Black Lives Matter. We're watching all kinds of people and movements that are saying, you can't continue to do this to me. I have a personal issue going on right now. We're in the middle of it. And I was thinking about that, but also thinking how what I'm going through right now is nothing short of a reflection of what's going on in the world. Oh my God, it's so friggin' hot out here. One day I'll have a regular studio again with an air conditioner that works. But we're saying we don't want our lives to be spent defending us as human beings. You will treat me as a human being so I can just breathe every day. I've been thinking about that so much lately, and thinking about, is there any way I can express this? Express my sheer, absolute fury that abusers have not stopped. They haven't said, I get it, I get it. This has been awful on my part. They've instead just continued to abuse. In videos, we watched a black man be held against a tree while white people talked about hanging him, lynching him. It's okay. I watched a video this morning where a young black man was walking down the street, and a woman with a little dog was chasing after him and yelling at him because he was walking down her street. A white man in a car was harassing a black woman in a car because she was driving around his neighborhood. We are community. We should be one. We should be living by something very simple in life. The golden rule. Do unto others as I would have done to you. It's very easy. It's very easy. Going by that rule elevates us. But right now we have people in charge who are saying, no, 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 no. just keep spreading the hatred. Let me stand for abuse on so many levels. Let me be your hero here. And I'm angry. I am beyond angry. I am beyond angry. And not just because it's happening to me or it's happened to me, wish. But because it has happened over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. I am able to understand other people's pain and anger and fury and the reasons why they're getting out in the streets, and they're saying, you will not continue to do this to me, to us, to our community. You will not continue to drag us down. We will not tolerate it. We need to live as one. We all need to be treated equally. It is not that difficult. It is not that difficult. Anne Frank once said, be kind, have courage. And that's a lesson for everyone. Her people, her community were targeted and murdered and persecuted. And they survived. Some people survived and have flourished. They're not letting it go, and we should never let abuse go. Never. We should never say it's okay. Not to ourselves, not to our community, not to people we care about, not to even people we don't know. Never, ever should we say, you need to shut up. You need to be silenced, and you need to live under our crushing, vile, horrible hatred. Yeah, I've been thinking about this a lot. So I went online this morning. So I decided to take this and gray up some areas by taking a cloth, wiping it with, wiping it down, adding water rather, and going in and adding hatch marks, adding gray, using the material and just spreading my lovely, beautiful, or as Jonathan Van Nuys would say, or Ness would say, gorgeous gray. The white was too dominating, it was too much, and it didn't express what I want. There is no gray area in abuse. There is no gray area. It is black and white. Wrong and right, right and wrong. White is not the men in the white hats out to save everyone. White is the evolution of thought and action in my mind. White is not the color of my skin here. It is not symbolized here. White, when I'm done, will hopefully represent possibly some clarity and evolution from all this, even though for thousands of years we've had the opportunity to grow and change and to recognize horrible behavior and squash it. I think I'm sweating more than I'm drinking. I found a number of quotes that I'm going to write in here in pencil. This is something I've done before. Not grayed it. I've left it black, flat black in areas. I may re-blacken some of this so the letters pop out, but they don't pop out. What I love about this is I'm going to be writing in pencil, in ebony pencil. And what I love about doing that is you may not see it when you're looking directly at the canvas. Somewhat similar to painting, where you don't see all the brush strokes unless you're really looking. my paintings aren't just about the people I paint, they're about the act of painting and the love of painting and paint itself. And I was talking to a friend about how beautiful it is. Absolutely stunning it is. When you lay color next to color, color next to black, just whatever you're doing, and you take a brush and you dip it in Neo McGilp. Maybe add a little bit of color and then run down a line and you watch the brush separate the color in Neo McGilp. It creates this valley of beauty and these hills of color that can glow. So it's kind of the same thing, and also not. Because when we're looking at pencil marks, like I just drew something, you probably can't see it. You're not going to see it till you turn, and then all of a sudden it shines. And this is what I play with even with paint. You won't see something till maybe you turn. Now I'm looking at it here, it's catching the light. And so that's what I'm going to be working on right now, is just adding lettering to this. This is, what time is it? Ooh, I've been talking for a long time. This is Studio Mate from another state. I'm just going to be working. You're going to be painting with me now that my diatribe is done. But I found something really beautiful. Oh, I didn't realize Julian Assange said this. That's interesting. Julian Assange said this. Wow. He's another one. Victim and hero. When he tried to warn us what was going to happen, the government said, you're now the enemy. I mean, there's various reasons to not like Julian Assange, but I still like this quote. Capable, generous men do not create victims. They nurture victims. I love that, but I found this woman online. She's an author, and she talks about abuse, and she articulates it in such a way I never could. Her name is Christine Oksana. Actually, I found two of them. But Christine Oksana, in the book Safe Passage to Healing said, violators cannot live with the truth. Survivors cannot live without it. There are those who still, once again, are poised to invalidate and deny us. If we don't assert our truth, it may again relegate to fantasy. But the truth won't go away. It will keep surfacing until it is recognized. Truth will outlast any campaign mounted against us, no matter how mighty, clever, or long. It is invincible. It's only a matter of which generation is willing to face it, and in so doing, protest future generations from ritual abuse. I think I want to find that other quote since I'm yapping away. Ooh, where'd you go? Because this got my blood going today. Wait a minute. Oh, here she is. Let me clean off my glasses. I'm sweating so much. I didn't want to find somebody famous. I didn't realize that was Julian Assange until right now. But I didn't want to be like, oh, Oscar Wilde said this thing. You know, I wanted to find people who are in the trenches and speaking out against abuse. Judith Lewis Herman, in her book Trauma and Recovery, wrote, when traumatic events are my phone is doing this. Okay, here we go. When traumatic events are of human design, those who bear witness are caught in the conflict between victim and perpetrator. All the perpetrator asks is that the bystander do nothing. He appeals to the universal desire to see, hear, and speak no evil. The victim, on the contrary, asks the bystander to share the burden of pain. The victim demands action, engagement, and remembering. There's another quote from Judith Herman that I'm going to add to this, but those two really got me going. Now I'm thinking about Julian Assange. I'm not sure. Let me think about that for a minute. Although it is very true. Julian, capable, generous men do not create victims, they nurture victims. So I'm going to go ahead and think about this, about poor little Julian. I love this one. Actually, this might go in the center. Flora Jessup from Church of Lies. Flora Jessup from Church of Lies. To those who abuse, the sin is yours, the crime is yours, and the shame is yours. To those who protest the perpetrators, blaming the victims only masks the evil within, making you as guilty as those who abuse. Stand up for the innocent or go down with the rest. Okay, done talking. Turning on my fan now. Let's get to work. Welcome to Studio Mate from another state. It's too warm. It's too warm. Oh. We'll do it this way. I gotta put something on because I can't. I'm so angry. I'm so angry. I have to remove myself from the anger and just let the message convey itself. If I'm angry as I am right now, I will muddle the message. So I'm gonna remove myself. So I'm going to listen to Rose Byrne from Bridesmaids in an interview. That's how my head works. Where's my cloth? Where's my... Oh. Another thing I really love about drawing in pencil is that it can be extinguished. It can be erased pretty easily. Just like the victims of abuse and people who speak out about it. just misspelled a word again. Listening time is over.
Formed at all, but I started very young. Yeah, I was 8 when I started classes at the youth theatre group, and then 13 when I got my first professional job in Australia.
When you come to that performing arts group, and you kind of were immersed in this world of other theater people, were you like, oh, this is it, I've found my tribe?
I did feel that, yes. Not to sound such a cheesy and sensible.
So, to those who abuse, the sin is yours. The crime is yours. To protect the perpetrators, oh, I forgot a word. Oh, I got that.